From a consumer needs perspective, we are, learning a lot about what the consumer is most interested right now. So as we think about the need to shift all of their consumption back in home or predominantly in home, where previous to all of this, consumers typically spent about 50% of their consumption away from home. As that moved home, it's been an interesting opportunity for us as a brand that was consumed both in and away from home. We're an on-the-go convenient nutrition bar. So some of the ways that we are helping the consumer adapt is really helping them think through what's their new snacking repertoire. We continue to offer up what we call our snack hacks. This is an opportunity to make the most of your snacking occasion. It's using our bars, but using them in a new and different way. We have been able to better communicate all of the features and benefits that we know consumers continue to care about. For us, that translates into we are a plant-based brand, we are a clean label brand, we are nut-free, and we meet a lot of different allergen lifestyle requirements such as dairy-free and soy-free. One other discovery through this period is as people have moved online, it's also afforded us the opportunity to bring new users to the brand. And these new users typically, and I'm generalizing, but they typically tend to look younger than our average and typical consumer target. So some of the things we're exploring is how would we need to position the brand differently for that individual? We are typically an all-family brand consumed, across the household, whether it's parents or children, and that younger person might be an individual. So how would we speak to their maybe more active lifestyle, and some of their needs? There's fewer frequency of buying trips, but the average buying trip is now larger. So the mentality of trying to space out my grocery visits and space out my baskets is probably going to stay with us for a long time, at least until people understand what their level of immunity is, or what, the community level of immunity might be in their community. So as that happens, some of the things that we have been well positioned to do are create things like bundle packs on our website where you could buy in multiples. We have, some of our retailer partners coming online with larger pack format, and obviously without the level of discovery and foot traffic that a store visit affords you, we're now looking for how to translate that online. How can we, put the brand in front of consumers and enable that discovery in a digital environment? It's a fantastic question, because I think as moms, we send kids off with what we think is a balanced lunchbox, and we hope for the best. It goes off to school. We don't see our children for a good portion of their day, and you hope they're making the, sound food choices to the extent that we've put the right, options for them in their lunchbox. Today, with, all of us being at home, and frankly, most of us wearing multiple hats throughout the day, whether it's being caretaker as well as working remotely and homeschooling, in some ways, children are making more independent and frequent choices throughout the day. And so as parents, what you want to do is almost put a pre-approved lot, if you will, in a way that's accessible to them so that they could graze as they need to throughout the day. So that's given them a higher level of independence, but I don't think that it's changed mom's desire to pre-screen those choices and ensure they're still the right choices. So one thing that's unique about our positioning, and always has been the case, is that our brand tends to be a perfectly positioned product. It offers the kind of better for you benefits that typically come at a higher price point at a very accessible price. So we tend to play that bridge role. So we help consumers really interested in better for you options that may not be ready to trade up from a price point perspective. Again, they might be a multi-member household, and so they seek value in those decisions just as much as any other consideration in their decision making. So in that way, we're not pivoting at all from that. In fact, I'd say we're doubling down It's incredibly important that our innovation be accessible to people. I don't think, hopefully, being in food all my life and loving this category and space, I don't think that the long-term impact of this crisis will be a slowdown in innovation. I could tell you the vault is nice and full of ideas. Um, I think maybe what we should be asking ourselves, though, as marketers, is how to wrestle with the timing of when to launch new items, and how will innovation overall, the engine, be impacted by the current situation, not just in the short term in terms of what I described as the challenge of limited ways to discover new things if you're not shopping the aisles, but it's also, understandably thinking about what kind of value proposition every innovation brings to the marketplace that still makes it attractive to the consumer in a situation where they might have less discretionary spending, or they might be